guys are all doing well. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, hello, hi, my name is BERBER. I do fashion, hair, and I vlog my travels here and there. If you're not subscribed, please do. Like, it's right there. I'll wait for you to subscribe. Is you done or is you finished? Come and join the family. We're a lovely family here, and also make sure that you have your post notifications turned on for me so that you never miss an upload. So as you can probably see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about placements, taking a placement year. And for those of you who may not have come across the term placement, say if you're not from the UK, a placement year is essentially when you take a year out from your studies. It's usually the year after your second year of university, just before you go into your third. You take a placement year or a gap year where you go out and work, or if it's a gap year, you go out and you can study abroad. So I did a placement year. I think I've mentioned it here and there in a few previous videos, but I've never actually ever gone into detail about it. Someone has also asked me to talk about life after university, which I will do very soon, but I thought I'd get this one out of the way because it's that time, it's that season where people are going off to uni or people are going back to university, and I always see a lot of videos talking about tips for university, how to survive first year. However, I feel people don't ever talk about how to survive second year, how to apply for placements if you want to do a placement, or how to survive third year. I have done a video on how to get a first and how to survive third year. I'll put it in the iCards up here, so make sure you click on there once you're done from this video. After you've got your placement and you've done your placement and you're going on to third year, go to that video where I share all my tips and tricks on how to tips and tricks on how to get a first at university. So the way this video is going to go, I'm going to first talk about why you should do a placement, and then I'm going to break it down into the pros and cons, and I'm also going to give you a bit of an overview of my own placement and why I decided to do a placement. Firstly, if you are watching this video and you're thinking about doing a placement or umming and ahhing about it, start applying now. In fact, you should have started applying at the start of September, because a lot of big companies, especially if you're looking to do a placement in maybe finance or accounting, a lot of big companies such as Merrill Lynch or I think Goldman Sachs, they actually start their application process quite early. So if you haven't already started, after this video, go on their website, or in another tab while you watch this video, open up their website, look for their application process, see when it starts, and also see when the deadline is, because some of them close even before the end of the year. So that's one of my main tips. Start looking now. You should have started looking last year, but if you haven't started, it's alright. And that's one of the things at university. No one will baby you. No one will be there to remind you the application process for this company starts here, the deadline is here. You literally have to do it on your own, because you are an independent adult now. It's your responsibility to make sure you get to your lectures. It's your responsibility to make sure that you are aware and you educate yourself of all of the places and all of the things that are available to you. There are so many people who don't do placements just because they didn't know that they were available, or they found out they were available too late. So knowledge is power. Make sure you're knowledgeable from early. First thing people mainly ask themselves is, why should I do a placement? And my answer to that is always, number one, you get more experience, and also it increases your employability. So many people are going to university, so many people are coming out with degrees, and I think I said it before, your degree is what you make it, but also you as a whole, as a package, as someone who wants to be employed, you are what you make yourself. And the more experience you have, the more kind of value you are adding to yourself. And a placement year just adds more value to you and adds more value to your CV, because it shows not only do I have my degree, but I also have the practical skills. I have been in the industry. That's another benefit to a placement year. It shows you the industry. It allows you to actually work in the industry before you graduate. And even if you find that I've done a placement in this industry and I do not, this is not what I want to do, it doesn't mean you've wasted a year. You can still use any transferable skills that you've taken from that year in placement, such as being able to work in an environment, managing your time. Learn to milk your transferable skills. Milk them. And it still shows that you have a year in industry, so you can milk your transferable skills, adjust them and make them applicable to the career or the job role that you're actually applying for. So I'm actually going to start off with the disadvantages of a placement. The main one that people, surprisingly, but the one that people or students say a few times is that I'm going to graduate later than everyone else, meaning that when it comes to my graduation, I'm not going to graduate with my friends. Most of the time, most of your friends will do placements as well, but if they don't, even when you come into a new year for your third year, you're going to make friends with the people who you're in third year with now, who would have been the people that are in the year below. I had that fear as well. Oh my god, I'm going on placement, I'm going to have to adjust to like these new young, I call them youngsters, even though they were like a year younger than me, but it was literally like, oh, I don't have time in third third year. Like, I just want to be mature, I just want to do my work and go. But it actually was not difficult, because although they're younger than you, everyone is still in third year and everyone still understands how important that last year is. And unless they're completely wayward and just absolutely don't care, in third year is when everyone kind of gets a battery up them, and it's literally like go go go, this is the last year, there's no repeating after this. Well, you can repeat, but you're capped. So to be honest, there is no repeating after this to try and get the best grade that I can. So that is one of the main worries. I myself don't know anyone yet who found it extremely difficult to adapt to going back to university in third year with a new set of people. Another thing you have to think about is, yeah, you've gone to uni, you've met these amazing friends, and as lovely as it is to graduate with all of your friends, once you graduate, you're going to go in different paths of life. It's great and it's really lovely. It's a beautiful photo op to graduate with all of your friends, squad goals, bang bang bang, pick pick pick, all of that stuff. However, you have to think about yourself and what is best for you. If you go around thinking, oh, I don't want to do a placement, if your biggest worry about doing a placement is the fact that you won't be graduating with your friends, my friend, you need to reevaluate yourself. I personally don't think that's even a valid reason. However, I do know that for some people it is a concern, but the benefit you're going to get out of that placement far outweighs the benefit of graduating with your friends, as beautiful as it is to graduate with your friends, because it's beautiful, it's lovely, but at the end of the day, the placement will be better for you. I'm just saying. Another disadvantage is that you literally have to wake up every day. You have to wake up early every day, and that can be an adjustment from university. In uni, some days you have lectures at 9 a.m, some days you have lectures at 1. Your sleeping pattern at uni is at like, it's ridiculous. My sleeping pattern in first year and second year of uni was just ridiculous. So then having to get into the habit of going to bed early, waking up early, having to go through rush hour and get into work on time, it is a bit of the struggle in a first month, but you actually get used to it. And people used to say this to me and I was just like, how am I ever going to get used to this? But you do get used to it. You get into the habit of knowing, right, I need to be in bed by this time, I need to be up by this time so I can get to work, because you literally have no choice. Another disadvantage of doing a placement, and this is actually a disadvantage to, I think, only placements that maybe are in the NHS or placements that are within the scientific or medical science field. Most placements that I know, you get paid. However, if you are, say, a biomedical scientist and you're doing a placement in a hospital to do your portfolio, you don't get paid. I don't know if they're changing it now. I know there have been talks about making a legislation where placement students get paid. There's been talks about unpaid work and people actually should be getting paid for their work, which they should be. From my knowledge, I think you still don't get paid if you're a biomedical scientist and you go to do a portfolio in the NHS, which I think is crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy. And it was also one of the reasons why I did not want to do a placement within the NHS, because I said, my mother did not raise a fool. There is no way I am working for a year for free. Well, that's rude of me to say, because that would insinuate that the people that did do it are fools. You're not a fool. With me, I can't, unless there is a very, very, very good reason, a very good, solid, concrete contract signed opportunity afterwards of a confirmed job, and even then it has to be a really good salary, whereas the salary when you come out as a biomedical scientist is not great. So that is a disadvantage for some placements. Not all placements are paid, although the majority of them are, and that actually goes on to some of the benefits, because one of the main benefits of doing a placement that people always talk about is you get paid. It's going to be the first time ever that you're going to actually be getting a monthly salary that's not £7 an hour or £8 an hour. It's not dictated by how many hours you do. It's actually per annum. You're getting paid per annum as opposed to per hour. Some placements you can get in, I think, £900, £1,000, depending on how good the pay is. I know some placements in like accounting and finance, like, the money is good. The money is very, very scrumptious. You can get some good money as a student as well. What you decide to do with that money will dictate whether it's a further benefit. If you just splash it, then come on, bro. But if you actually use that money wisely, reinvest it, save some of it, you can actually make some bucks on placement. I think I was the richest I've ever been in that period of my life, such as studying, from placement. And my placement wasn't paid, however my travel and my food was paid for, and it made me realize how much money I spend on travel and food. I think 60% of maybe not 60, 50% of what we earn actually goes towards traveling and getting to work. So essentially we're working to be able to work. Another benefit to doing a placement, like I said, is experience. There's so many graduates that are coming out of university without jobs. We see in the news every day, you have someone that graduated with a first class in law or first class in engineering and they're working in KFC or something like that. Nothing against anyone working in KFC. However, if I've paid 9 grand for my degree and then I have to work in KFC, I'm not going to be a happy person. I'm not going to be happy. I'm actually not going to be happy. Linking with experience, it does boost your employability if you do have a placement, because you have practical experience in that industry. And even if it's not the industry that you want to go into, you can then once again use your transferable skills and just adjust them and make them applicable to the career or the job role that you're actually applying for. That year, while you're in a placement year or taking a gap year, you don't have to pay student fees. So for me, when I did my placement year, I didn't pay any fees for that year. I do know there are some courses that you still have to pay fees, which I think is crazy, but I think for the majority you don't pay any fees because you're not at uni. Although you're still a student of that university, you're not going to any modules, and for most times when you are paying for uni, you're paying for per module. If I'm not doing any modules, I shouldn't have to pay anything. Another benefit to placements is that you can sometimes take advantage of the company benefits as well. When I did placement, I was able to go on certain talks and go on certain conferences on the company's dollar. So they would pay for my registration fee for that course, and if say the course was far away, they pay for my hotel. If you're working in like government or like the NHS, there's not really a lot of company kind of benefits, whereas if you are working for like a private company or a pharmaceutical company, then you know, like they'll put you up in hotels and take you to like expensive conferences and stuff like that. So that is another benefit to it. And also at those conferences, you can do what? You can network, which means that you can increase your net worth. And that's another thing I'm going to go on to talk to is networking. I am going to do a video on networking because I think a lot of people talk about the need for networking, but some people don't actually talk about how to network, which was one of the problems I found. Sometimes people assume that I'm very loud and I can talk to a lot of different people, but talking to people, especially in the scientific field, I just always kind of felt stupid. These people are like doctors and consultants and they've written journal articles and been published, and I'm just a little person from second year of university. Like, I can't even comprehend what you're talking about. But that's actually a benefit because it means that you can ask so many more questions. It means that you can show how enthusiastic you are, and means that they will possibly give you a job sometimes, or you can go on their clinics or ward rounds or go to some of their talks and learn even more and be able to network even more. I'll make another video all about networking, but that is something that you can do. While I was at placement, I spoke to everyone. I spoke to not only the people in my department in PHE, I spoke to the people who worked within the trust, within the hospital. I spoke to the cleaners. I think one of the cleaners was so lovely. She's actually the reason why my hair business actually started booming, because she helped me learn how to like brand it and how to do Instagram, and because her daughter did hair as well, and literally just speaking to one of the cleaners, I was able to get information from a person who helped me in that area of my life. So literally speak to everyone. And one of the main reasons why I took the placement in the area that I did was because I wanted to network. I knew I was, number one, I was going to be able to do my portfolio, meaning that I would graduate and be able to call myself a biomedical scientist. But that was literally on the bottom of my list of benefits. My main benefit is that, number one, I'll be doing a placement. I wouldn't be getting paid, but my food and my travel would be getting paid for, and I'd be getting quite a large grant. But also I would be in an environment where I could speak to consultants, speak to doctors, speak to SBRs, be able to network and be able to get in on their ward rounds, on their clinics, into their surgeries, and just literally fill my personal statement with a whole lot of like medical things to make me stand out better from other candidates for the next degree path that I wanted to go into. So yeah, while you are on placement, network your ass off. Use the fact that you're a student. That's what I used to do. I used to be, oh, I'm a student, yeah, I'm studying biomedical science. Oh, what do you do? That's really interesting. Oh, I'm doing this, that and the other. Like, talk to people, talk to everyone, talk to the cleaners, everyone, talk to everyone. Be a beg friend. Yeah, be a big friend, because you are a student and the kind of people that you're going to be working with are more mature adults. They love it. They love seeing young, fresh, enthusiastic people, and if they don't, then there's something wrong with them. You do have a few people that just they don't want to help you, but for the most part, everyone will want to talk to you because they just see you as this young, fresh faced millennial who's enthusiastic and wants to get into the industry, and that's something that I used to my benefit. So while I was on placement, I made sure that I got everything I needed to do for my portfolio, and my supervisor, she was I love her so much. Honestly, Allah put us together because we were so compatible for each other. As long as I did everything for my portfolio, she was like, yeah, you can go on ward rounds, you can go with the consultants, whereas most people who are doing their portfolio weren't allowed to do that. Like, you're literally in the lab, you do your portfolio, you're working in the lab, you have no business going into doing a ward round. But because I had a very lovely relationship with my supervisor, and because I was able, you know, to latch on and use my charm with my consultant, and I love my consultant so much. She was so words can't describe how lovely this woman was to me. Like, not only did she take me under her wing and let me go on her clinics and ward rounds, but she would like ask me stuff, made sure I understood, let me do audits, and she, like, I can't thank her enough. Like, I really loved her. She was a very lovely lady. So was my supervisor as well. My supervisor was lovely. Most of the people I worked with on my placement, thank God, were lovely. There were a few who were just but that's just it. And that's another benefit to a placement. It will teach you how to work with different types of people from different walks of life. It will prepare you so much for final year. And I always thought people were over exaggerating about how much, especially speaking more from someone who studied a medical or scientific degree. It will help you so much in terms of being able to read journal articles, being able to extract information, and being able to actually dissect complex kind of, like, on my placement I was doing ribotype, so I wasn't allowed to verify any results, but whenever any of the managers was reading the results, she'd let me do it. And I was literally working with like bioinformatic tools that at uni in my second year I'd done bioinformatics. I didn't understand what the hell it was. I hated microbiology in my second year. Like, that was my worst module. I think I got about a 2-2 in there in second year. I just didn't like it. And then after my placement, it was like a light switch that came on. I just knew about certain antimicrobials, I knew different bacterias, I knew how to read plates. It was actually fantastic, and it's crazy now that I actually love microbiology, and it is my favorite discipline. Whereas before I was literally like, I love hematology. It was just that I was just naturally gifted at hematology. But microbiology, specifically antimicrobial resistance, interests me so much, which is why I went on to do my dissertation in that field. And yeah, it will prepare you so much for final year because you will be matured. But it will only prepare you if you make sure that you get the most out of your placement. If you go in it and give it your all, you will get your all out of it. And like I said, you may even get a job out of it. So in terms of the application process and the interviewing, I might actually do a whole video on that. But the main thing I'll say about the application process is read the job specification. I'm gonna say that again. Read the job specification. Read everything there is to do in the job. Read every little spec they've told you to do. If they said you're only allowed 500 words, write 499 words, okay? I know, and even my interviewer for my placement at PHE said there was a time where he had so many applications, it literally came down to one person was over the word limit and another person wasn't. Imagine not getting a placement because you were one word over the word count or because you signed in the wrong place. You don't want that to be you. So once again, read the job specification. If you'd like a detailed video on application and interview tips, make sure to like this video and comment in the comment section below and let me know, and I will try and film that as well. But in terms of interviewing as well, what I would say is milk your transferable skills. So if you already work while at uni, say you have a weekend job or an evening job, milk the skills you have from there, such as working with people, customer service, time management, getting to work on time. I worked with at my university as well, so I had to work with students, so working with minors. Any transferable skills that you can link to the job role or to the placement role that you're applying for. This applies for any job that you're doing. Always link your transferable skills and always try to say, okay, I can do this, this and this, and see how that links to the job and how that will make you better suited for the job role or for the placement role as well. Don't try to apply to as many placements as you can, and I know a lot of people will tell you to apply to as many places as you can. The reason why I don't say that is because you can be doing a lot of different applications and say, okay, I did 5 placement applications this week, I'm gonna do 10 next week. You may be doing all these applications, but are you actually looking at what you're putting in the applications? Are you actually fine-tuning things? Because what a lot of students do, and even I do it sometimes when I'm searching for jobs, is I have like a cover letter and I just tweak it sometimes. But even when you're tweaking stuff, you know, you can have typos or anything like that. I think it's better to apply to maybe 10 solid placements and know that my cover letter was on point, my CV was on point, my application was mwah, it was just glorious, rather than apply to about 100. And because I've tried to apply to so many, on top of doing my uni work, on top of working on the weekends, I've literally just been rushing everything. If you are able to apply to a lot and literally give each application process the time and the detail that it needs, by all means do so. But I knew I couldn't do that, so I didn't try. Well, like I said, I didn't even want to do a placement, so I wasn't applying for a lot of placements anyway. But the one placement I did apply for, I gave my all into the application form. I read the job specification, I made sure that everything was just luscious, and I got the placement. So I hope this video was helpful. If you guys need any more additional advice, I'm going to leave links in the description bar below of websites that I think are helpful in terms of looking for a placement and all of that stuff. If you need any additional help or support, feel free to email me. It does sometimes take me a while to reply to my emails because I am just one person and I do YouTube and I do work full-time as well, but I do try to reply to all of my emails. So just drop me an email in the email that I put in the description bar below if you need any other help. I really hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.